just going live now on YouTube. So if you're wanting to see imagery as we're going, do go over to McScience CIC live on YouTube as well, so that you're able to then observe anything over there as well, because I'll have images on the YouTube account, whereas TikTok doesn't seem to like to link with Max Live at the minute. So I'm still trying to figure out if there's a way around that. So in regards to the heart, we have 4 chambers of the heart, and these 4 chambers determine, in a human, this is, and a lot of most mammals, it does vary from mammal to mammal. So we have 4 chambers, and with these 4 chambers, we have the right and left atrium and the right and left ventricle. Now, when we're looking at a picture of the heart, we are looking at the key we're looking at it from the patient's point of view. So always remember, anything to do with the human body, we look at it from the patient's point of view. So if you are looking straight at the picture of the heart, you are seeing the left and right, but it's always the other way round. That's the first thing to remember. And the left side of the heart is the thicker side of the heart, and this is because the left side of the heart is pumping blood around your entire body. Thank you, Riley, for the rose, much appreciated. And thank you for everyone else that's also given gifts as well, and hit that like button. As always, it's much appreciated. And when we then look at like I said, the left side of the heart pumping the blood all the way around your body, it's got to be that bit thicker because it's got that little bit more pressure to push the blood all the way around. And with that, then you end up with the other side of our heart, our right side. The right side, which when you're looking at the image is the left side, is a thinner wall because it's under less pressure. It's got the deoxygenated blood, and that deoxygenated blood ends up going up to why is there blue and red sides of diagram for deoxygenated blood? So we normally refer to blood being deoxygenated, and we draw it blue, and then the oxygenated blood is red. So when we're looking at an image of our heart, and I'm just trying to find one. When we're looking at the image of the heart, like I said, so the thinner side are image left, which would be the right side up for the patient. Image left is always deoxygenated blood, and that's the blood returning from the body. It goes into the right atrium, then into the right ventricle, and is pumped up to the lungs. This is where the carbon dioxide that's located in the plasma of the blood then gets, through diffusion, put into your lungs. The oxygen enters the blood, binds with a hemoglobin found in your red blood cells, and then from there, the heart is obviously still beating, and that blood then gets transferred into the left side of your heart, which is again the left atrium. Then it moves down into the left ventricle, and that oxygenated blood, normally diagrammed as red, then gets pumped around the body. With this, it will vary from time to time how the exam board questions are how deep they're delving into this, if that makes sense. Sometimes they'll, on the foundation paper, they'll ask you to simply do a couple of labels. Sometimes they'll ask you to uh, do a couple of simple diagrams as well, where you might need to um, talk about the fact that the arteries are thicker walled, narrower tubes than the veins. So remember, the arteries are under a lot of pressure. So the arteries are normally, with the aorta being the main artery away from the heart to your body, is a thick wall, narrow tube, high pressure. That's pumping it all around, and then it gets to the capillaries located in and around your body. So you've got thousands and thousands of capillaries all over your body. With them capillaries, what then you're doing is putting the oxygen into the muscles, into all of the parts that you're needing. Hey, JD, good to see you. And then your carbon dioxide is entering again back into the plasma. Now, one of the key things here that people forget about is obviously every cell in your body is needing oxygen for aerobic respiration. With the aerobic respiration, um, this is where we're taking that oxygen, reacting it with glucose to form energy, and we end up with water and carbon dioxide as the byproducts. Now, I talk about this with my tutees all the time. When it comes to aerobic respiration, it's the exact opposite of photosynthesis. So, if you know what photosynthesis is, carbon dioxide plus water equals energy, um, CO2, and glucose. It's the opposite of aerobic respiration. Now, Danny's just asked, what are capillaries again? Capillaries are basically the single cell, super thin, um, like arteries and veins, but they're their own category. They are super thin images. What am I on about? They're super thin, and with being super thin, it makes it easier for diffusion of our gases, salts, and things like that to move back and forth in the body. So the equation, yes, it is exactly opposite. So aerobic respiration is the opposite equation for photosynthesis. Anaerobic respiration is slightly different. And anaerobic respiration is normally when you're in what we call oxygen debt. So when you are using a lot of um, when you're doing a lot of exercise, you are burning through your oxygen super quick, and you end up getting to a point where you can't aerobically respire anymore. With that, then your body switches over to anaerobic respiration, where it basically ends up taking your glucose and turning it into lactic acid. And lactic acid is what ends up stiffening up your muscles and things like that. And then until you end up paying back that debt, you won't actually be able to get rid of the lactic acid. And this is why people talk about having a hot shower after a sporting activity. That's because you're actually helping the breaking down of the lactic acid, because when you have a hot shower, it heats up the capillaries, the blood vessels, making them expand, allowing better flow of blood. With a better flow of blood, oxygen is able to move around your body more, and therefore you're able to pay that oxygen debt back faster. So, I'm just looking at my notes quickly. Yeah, so when it comes to the heart, you have the four chambers. You then have your arteries away from the heart, with the main artery being called the aorta, and the main vein back to the heart is called the vena cava. Then we have the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein. The pulmonary artery takes the deoxygenated blood away to the lungs, and the pulmonary vein brings the oxygenated blood back to the heart, just like the vena cava brings the blood back to the heart from the body. So we then have the aorta and the uh, ventricle aorta, the atriums and the ventricles. And the way I always explain it to my students when they say, well, which is which, always think about the A is the top kind of chamber and the V is the bottom chamber of each side of the heart. And it helps you, when looking at an image of a heart, kind of just visualize it a little bit more so that you know that we have them four chambers. Now, I've seen this time and time again as well, where actually the exam board will normally, um, I do them every Wednesday, and you can watch them, Danny, uh, I record them onto YouTube. So if you follow as well, there will be, as we get closer to the exams, more of these sessions going as well. So if you hit that follow button and follow on YouTube, follow on TikTok, you'll see this a lot more. And like I said, I'm probably going to end up doing more sessions as we get closer to the exams, because people are have requested extra sessions, but how I fit that into my timetable, I'll have to figure out. All right. So thank you so much. Not a problem. Always here to help. And if you ever need any other questions, just message. I always check my messages and can respond to these things. And it might then make it so that then I make a video based off these things. So when we're then also looking at the rest of the body, one of the things when, especially with the heart, that the exam boards love to do is, well, our students know about the human heart, they've been taught about the human heart. Then, what they like to then get their students to do is actually look at what a fish would be and the fish circulatory system is. So our heart, the human heart, is has our four chambers. A fish only actually has the two chambers, and their system is far more simplified, to which they have the veins come from uh, our gill to our heart, and then they only have the two chambers, so they have one atrium and one ventricle, and then that blood is taken around the body, gills, heart, body, gills, heart, and it basically just circulates when it comes to these things. I am going to ask again if you have any other questions that you would like me to go over in this session. Put it now in the comments, and I'm happy to keep going over any other questions. And these were some brilliant questions by Danny about their heart and what kind of things that they talk about. And it was another good question as well a minute ago by Isabel, asking about the cell membrane being found in plant animal cells. And then we were talking about the fact that the cell wall is plants only. So when we're then looking at the organelles of our plants, we obviously then have the mitochondria, which is where aerobic respiration occurs. We have the cell nucleus, which is where all of the control of the cell occurs. And with that control, our DNA is stored in there as well. We have the cytoplasm. Thank you for the like on YouTube. Much appreciated. The cytoplasm is then where we are obviously starting to look at the chemical reactions occurring in that specific cell. And I'm just going to share my screen now so those on YouTube can see what those of you on YouTube, you can actually, this is the official MC Science website as well, where you can get this information. And with this, so we got our nucleus, which controls what happens, as we've said, has all of our DNA in it. And I have seen it as a question before on an exam paper, is what does DNA stand for? And it is deoxyribonucleic acid, for those of you that didn't know. Then the cell wall specifically gives structure to the plant cell and is not involved at all in the movement of particles in and out of the cell, but the cell membrane is like the bouncer of the cell. It is determining what can and can't enter or exit the cell. And each actual cell in your body has anything between 1 and 2,500 mitochondria in them. So then, when you think about how many actually mitochondria you have compared to how many billions of cells you have, you kind of start to realize how much stuff there is and what's going on. No problem. Have a good one. Do you have any questions as well about any of the information? Do let me know and we can go from there. Sam Carps, yes, and thank you very much. When we're looking at the cell of a plant as well, we are looking at the 3 additional organelles. And I'm saying the word organelle repeatedly because it's language that they use in the exams. And the amount of times I've had students in the past say, "Oh, I didn't answer this question in the exam because I didn't know what an organelle was." It literally is the parts, it's the fancy science word for the parts of the cell. Just like you have organs and organ systems, a cell has organelles. So, specifically, the plant cell has the cell wall, the vacuole, and chloroplast, which is where photosynthesis occurs. More specifically, in the chloroplasts are filled with chlorophyll, which is a green pigment, which is where our actual photosynthesis occurs. And again, going off of photosynthesis, you have the carbon dioxide plus water equals glucose and oxygen. And again, as I mentioned a minute ago, it's completely the opposite to what you would expect to see. Now, for those following on YouTube as well, what you're actually seeing here is a diagram of some cilia that I took when I was at university under an electron microscope. And with this, what you're seeing is all the little hairs that are used to actually move the mucus either up out of your lungs or moving the egg along the fallopian tubes as well. And when we're thinking about the different parts of our microscope, as you can see here, one of my drawings that uh, I did a while ago. Um, we've got all the different sections, and remembering if we're looking at the total magnification of a microscope, again, a question that they love to ask at GCSE is what's the total magnification? All you do is get the eyepiece lens and times it by whatever objective lens is being used at that time. Now, um, we only have a couple of minutes left. And with that, I do want to quickly touch on a thing that I've mentioned. Now, uh, it is my first ever competition that I am running. And with this, uh, whether you are watching live right now on YouTube or watching live on TikTok, one of the key things I want to put out is first of all, you could win this MC Science mug, and you can win this MC Science hardback book designed by Jesse Makes, who is a incredible uh, graphics designer, and they have been making my website alongside many other things that they do. And the other thing is this MC Science t-shirt is another thing that you can win. Now, to be in with a chance to win, um, all you have to do is the following. You have to make sure you are a subscriber. You are following my TikTok account. You are subscribed to my YouTube account, and that you have shared as much as you can today and liked today as well, if you can. Then you need to answer this question for me, which I am very quickly just getting back on my screen so I can see what is going on, because I have lost my information. No, I've lost my notes. I should have probably maybe memorized these notes rather than keeping them on screen the entire time. All right, let me exit that a minute. So, yes, it will be a question, and you have to be a follower of MC Science to be part of the competition. And what are you doing? Oh, no, don't need that. So anyone can enter this competition. That's one thing I want to make clear. You don't have to be solely a GCSE student or doing anything like that. Um, uh, there we go. Hopefully it will now appear. Um, Okay, here is my question. Now, my question for you today. So, I will also put it as a question on both YouTube and TikTok as well. Hey, Charlie. My question for you is going to be, what occurs when you look at current? So, what is current should be my question. Now, you have to comment on the YouTube video. I'm not going to accept comments on TikTok. It will be a YouTube thing only, because it will then list it for me. because the video will be live on YouTube, and it will be accessible at all times. And next week's session, when I see you all Wednesday of next week, I will simply pick 3 people that have answered that. So the question is what is current? Make sure you have shared these videos, and if you haven't already, get over then to my YouTube, and like I said, you've got a comment on the video. We are week 7 of our lives, so make sure you click on the right one. Not blackcurrant, unfortunately, Ryan. We're doing a physics question. That would be biology. And if you are a person that isn't 100% sure, as always, do some research, Google it, look these things up. But you've got to be, you were very close, yes. You've got to answer the question through my YouTube. All right. So I'm going to leave it there today. I will put up a post as well, so make sure you comment on that, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching.